I'm Phil. I'm Nilden.
I'm Raz.
I'm gonna bust his ass.
I'm Brandon.
Slide jobs by the dozen out here.
Hello, this is Thomas.
Here. Pisser.
I'm John.
Sit down the back straightaway for the final time.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
This is the Dirty Slider Podcast. Don't let a slider get your ass kicked. Welcome in, Slider Nation. We are on episode number 45. We're going to talk about a little bit of tire controversy. We're going to preview the upcoming Supernats in Boone, Iowa, and we'll talk about some engine stuff for sprint cars. I think whatever else we can get ourselves wrapped up in, whatever controversy or argument will start. The first thing I want to talk about is they were talking about at the Trophy Cup or Gold Cup? Gold Cup.
Gold Cup,
about
yeah.
the difference in tire price for sprint cars with the required mandatory Hoosier that you had to run versus what an American Racer tire of the same size and same similar compound. Their compounds are a little bit different. The price difference was basically $100 per tire. It really didn't matter what location on the car. So, I mean, let's get into that. You know, we all know why Hoosiers are run at these events. It's because the sanctioning bodies require it. You must run this tire. If you don't run this tire, then you're not allowed to race. Hey, Nilden, welcome in.
Hey.
Better Nate than Lever. So I mean, basically, it's a stacked deck against American Racer or any other brand that wants to come in. How do we feel about that?
Well, I can
Sounds
say,
like Hoosiers
speaking
got
from
a
the,
monopoly.
yeah, I mean, I can say from running IMCA that we're forced to run the IMCA G60s. And that cost per tire for me just went up $5 a tire. So when you're forced to run a single sourced part, that single sourced part can be however much they want it to cost because ain't nothing you can do about it.
Well, with that, I mean, obviously the sanctioning body's getting a kickback from Hoosier Tire or American Racer, like USRA. They run American Racer, but you can get an IMCA car and a USRA car running together at the same shows, and they're pretty competitive. So it's kind of one or the other, but it doesn't necessarily show sometimes the difference. But obviously, with the sanctioning body getting a kickback, the tire price keeps climbing up, so the manufacturer can get their money. The whoever's requiring a division or sanction to run that tire, they got to get their money too.
Well, I mean,
Right.
you go ahead, John.
I think the other part of that is if one sanctioning body is requiring Hoosiers, just as an example we're talking about, there's nobody to compare the quality to. So Hoosier quality is not pushed forward. They're either stagnant or not as good as they could be. And there's no competition.
Well, I think Brandon hit the nail on the head. The sanctioning bodies are getting, call it what you want, kickbacks, sponsorships, whatever, from the tire manufacturers for the sanctioning body mandating their tire. In either it's in an upfront, above board, brand of, well, Hoosier is sponsoring this class, so that, or it's just underhanded, underneath the table payments. It happens. We all know it happens. I think, this is my view, is that, okay, Hoosier's the official tire of this class, and in order to qualify for this contingency, you have to run Hoosier tires and run a Hoosier decal. But you can run any tire that meets the spec. And I think that's the way to do it, but that is not the way it's done, and it's not the way it's going to be.
Well, a question with that would be, Raz, if Hoosier is required, with them giving the spotter, whoever, a kickback or a payout, is it part of the contract that they have to mandate that tire? And if they don't mandate that tire, then does the promoter or the sanctioning body lose that kickback? And if they lose that kickback, then the promoter is not going to want to take that money out of their wallet. I mean, they're padding their checking account.
That's exactly what's.
Well,
So, yeah,
that's what I
so
was going to say. That's why what Raz was talking about would be outstanding, but it's never going to happen because that kickback is worth so much to the promoter or
yeah,
sanctioning body.
the series is going to get that kickback, and he's not going to be able to, that guy's not going to be able to drive that freaking, Denali down the road and paid for by tires.
Well, and it seems to be a common theme with me is going back to dinosaur days. I remember when sprint cars, they ran Goodyear tires.
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah.
And Hoosier was the outsider. And, everybody was saying, well, why can't we run the Hoosiers? It's a better tire. And, it's this and that. And, nope. Goodyear's the tire, and that's what we're running. Well, then Goodyear got out of the sprint car business, and it's Hoosiers. So it's always going to be somebody on the outside wanting in. And in this case, it's American Racer, and they posted that on Facebook. American Racer did talk how their tires were $100 a tire cheaper. On a sprint car where you're going to go through at a minimum a right rear night, probably both rears per night, and then you're going to go through right front two nights, maybe three. Left rears left fronts tend to last a little longer. That's a lot of money.
Well, it's $200 a night
in a class that's already expensive. Your current right rear on a sprint car is $300 and change for your right rear, and then the American Racers, I think it was like $90 less for essentially the same tire. I mean, there's only so many ways you can skin a cat.
Well, it's like Brandon said. If you don't have an option that is just as good, and you're required to run one tire, then you're looking at, they can set the price whatever they want. Oh, well, you have to run my tires now. That tire that was, let's say, $380 last year, well, this year it's $500. You either buy my tire or you don't race, and that's going to be the option. At some point, guys are going to be like, I can't afford it.
Well, that's the thing, and that's when sanctioning bodies like USRA, for example, it's not as big as IMCA, but I've noticed a lot of IMCA drivers making that shift over to the USRA thing because it's a little cheaper with the, tire package alone. You're saving a couple $100 a night racing a modified or a stock car. If you can save $200 a night by just changing your sanctioning body that you're racing with,
Right.
I mean, why not do it if you're running out of money, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and this is, white patriarchy coming out. I think competition is good for the sport. When there were tire wars between Goodyear and Hoosier on the dirt track realm, between Goodyear and Hoosier for the NASCAR Cup realm, I don't know if, I know Thomas is too young to remember this, but there was a tire war at one time in Cup between Hoosier and Goodyear, and you could run whichever one you wanted. Well, what happened was Hoosier tended to bring out a softer compound that was faster but wore out quicker. Goodyear brought a little bit harder compound that lasted a little longer but was slower. So it made for great racing, and it made for some, obviously a little bit of controversy, which I think all of that is good for the sport, especially when you see a lot of sprint car races where they are literally burning the right rears off of those cars. Gold Cup was an example. There were 6 or 7 lead lap cars that went out with flat right rears because they literally just wore them down to the air. And there was one, somebody was leading, right, Thomas? You watched it.
Yeah, no, nobody was leading, but Brad Sweet was third coming to the finish line and blew his right rear. But I think, go ahead. There's more I want to talk about with the Gold Cup, but it's stop pretending to tire.
So like I said, I think competition is good for the sport. Anytime you can have more than one source for anything, whether it's tires, engines, chassis, drivers, if you can have more than one source, it breeds competition, and it's competition behind the scenes, and it really made for some interesting things. There were people who were diehard, Hoosier loyalists. Tony Stewart is his name. He sang the praises of Hoosier, both in dirt track and in the Cup realm. There were some others, that they stuck to their island no matter what, and others that didn't. And like I said, it brought out some really good competition, and I think it would help out a lot right now in racing. It would help drive the cost down and drive the competition up.
I mean, I'll be looking heavily at the results from the XR Rampage 100,000 to win stock cars because both sanctioning bodies are running it in that IMCA or USRA. So you have the Hoosier versus American Racer. I'm interested to see how many people show up with American Racers and how many people show up with Hoosiers and what the outcome looks like after 60 laps of stock car racing.
Yeah, and I want to take a hard right turn here. We'll come back to the Gold Cup, Thomas. You brought up XR Racing, Brandon. I guess there's a little shade on XR Racing where they're paying off their racers. You got all the info on that?
Well, I mean, every time they seem to have a big race come up, they had the 100,000 to win Sport Compact race. They had the 100,000 to win stock cars last year. But there seems to be a lot of comments on their Facebook that says, "Hey, are you actually going to pay people out? Are we going to wait a couple weeks, couple months?" Some people saying that they never got their money. I mean, if you're going to put on big shows, that's great. People are going to show up. But if you're not paying people for months or weeks or whatever, I just see a lot of people say, "I'll never race a sanction that or a race that they put on." And I've seen guys, like, for example, if they're putting on $100,000 to win stock car race in the middle of dirt track country in Iowa, how many cars do you expect to show up? They got 100 pre-registered, whereas Super Nationals got 1,000 pre-registered, and it pays far less money.
Well, they pay.
Super Nationals will pay you like fucking
Well, no,
$2,500, but you get
but they pay.
They pay.
Well, and there's prestige to Super Nationals.
Yeah.
You gotta count to that too.
Yeah, but I'm saying at $100,000 to win show, and you have hundreds, literally hundreds of these cars that you're racing in the same state that you're racing this big race at, how are you only getting 100 pre-registered cars?
Yeah, and I think if you're delaying paying purses or paying people off, it points to a Ponzi scheme where you're waiting for more entry fee money to come in before you pay out the one.
Yep.
That's just a death spiral for
Well,
promoters.
And that's exactly what I was saying is along with the Nationals being a prestigious event, I have never heard of where they have not paid or drugged their feet on paying people unless there was a question about legality, which then that's different. But this other, if what you're saying, I have personally not seen the Facebook posts about it or anything like that. I haven't seen anything about it. But if you hear, hey, are you actually going to pay? Well, that's going to drive people away. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. They're offering $100,000 to win, but it takes 6 months. Sometimes some people didn't get paid. And then, like Brad said, is it a Ponzi scheme? Not saying it is, not saying it's not. But
here's a little more background story. XR, the people putting on this big race, they were the first ones to live broadcast races. If you remember back when it was XN, and then it went to XR, they were the original people that started live broadcasting shows, and they started that boom at Super Nationals. And now that guy, I don't believe, is anywhere remotely around IMCA, as you would say. So, I mean, something's obviously happened along the way here where he's kind of trying to make these big shows, and he's kind of sticking them around IMCA big shows to see, it's kind of a fight now. Little drama, you know.
And that's what I was going to say. Maybe you don't get as many cars if you're trying to do it in Iowa a week before the Super Nats. Because personally, I don't want to go to that show that may or may not pay and wreck my car if I'm planning on going to Super Nats.
I mean, you got some guys that are pre-registered that'll be at Super Nationals as well, but it's
right.
Interesting to me how it's been panning out. Because I mean, their first $100,000 to win show, they had a fucking 300 or 400 cars show up, and now you're down to 100.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't pay.
Well, that's
Good
the
point.
deal, right? You got to wait a couple weeks or a couple months, to get paid out. People are like, "Yeah, fuck that! I can't go racing if I don't get paid right now."
Well, in the spirit of calling people out, XR Racing is owned by a couple. It's two people. It's Barry and Jennifer Braun out of Minnesota. It's not it's not like
Barry Braun runs. His wife's listed on
And 100,000 to win if you don't win.
Well, I mean, okay, your wife owns half.
This
your
isn't
stuff,
a net 30 corporate account.
It's not like we're high limit where it's it's a conglomeration of people, including Flow Racing. If you didn't know, Flow Racing owns a piece of High Limit. So I mean, let's call 'em- if we're calling, let's call them out. So Barry Braun, do right, pay your racers.
And if you are paying your racers and people are just talking shit, feel free to come on, talk with us,
Right.
and tell us your side.
Put
Come
your
on,
story
set-
out there.
Set the record straight. We'd love to have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So back to the tires, the interesting thing from that event then would be people who run Hoosiers
you're
versus
using-
people who run the American Racers. Show us what their tires look like after a night of racing. Is the wear similar?
And if you're waiting to get paid from the future event to pay your
Well, that's
back
why
fees, it's called a
I'm
Ponzi
going to be
scheme, though, bud.
heavily involved watching that because 60 laps. I mean, it'll show after 60 laps which one's going to hold up longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
anytime you have more options, it's better.
I mean, it also
Was
Well,
that was
having
Pirelli?
options-
Wasn't that
having
Pirelli and
options
Firestone?
just in
I think we can all agree we'd rather have both tires options.
Sober wants to talk.
having
And
options
I can
just
only think of one
increases
time
your
where
tire bill any
having
which way,
two
because then
tire
you got to
options
have
was
a stack
bad
of
for
Hoosiers
the
and you got to
race,
have a stack of
and that was
American
F1 at
racers
Indy
because
back in the
maybe at
90s.
this track the Hoosiers work better, but this one the American
That's
racers
the only
work
time
better.
I can think of.
So that's the downside to having options.
Bridgestone
Yeah,
one.
that's a valid point.
Not saying that I'm in the seat where I'm paying $170 a tire for Hoosier right now, but if you have options, then you have to carry those options, and that just means more money.
Circling back to Gold Cup, congrats to Corey Day on winning that race. That was a big deal. Corey Day of the almost certain to be having a full-time NASCAR ride in, I guess it's the O'Reilly series, not Xfinity anymore. I don't. I'm not gonna be able to keep track of all this. Yeah,
Winston
it's-
Cup,
Right.
you know.
I mean, again, off track, but come on, Connor Zilic with the I'm healing as fast as Xfinity Mobile, and I have some new O'Reilly auto parts in my body.
Well, it's still
Talk
Xfinity,
about
just gotta wait a
looking
couple
ahead.
weeks. It's still
announced
Bush
a
to me.
Full-time Cup ride for Connor Zillage.
He's got Suarez. Yeah.
Yep.
That was smart.
You're getting ahead of
That
yourself
was
there.
clever for sure.
Yeah.
You might be right.
Yeah, he's
Well,
looking for
I
a
mean-
cup ride.
I don't know, man. It's a plate race. Like, throw shit at the wall and see what sticks the longest.
Oh, they did, yeah.
It's,
I
it's
think
four
I'm
races.
gonna say right now, Parker Kligerman's
Before we
going to be
get
in
into,
the Dale Jr.
the
Motorsports
preview
Cup
of
ride next year.
IMCA Nationals, I want to give a huge, as
Ah,
Donald Trump would
I
say,
might
a
not be far off,
huge
though.
Shout out
With what's going
to
on with
Justin
everything there.
Grant. That man has to carry his gonads around in a wheelbarrow. Wins the Kokomo Smackdown with a broken.
But he's
foot,
obviously pretty good at it.
has the halo device on his left foot and a handbrake. Yeah, buddy.
That's
A
what I
little
was
more
gonna say when-
gonads than I got in my pocket.
Yeah, when I saw that picture, I'm like, oh, that's his brake foot. He's fine.
Yeah, no, they
Just
rigged up.
send it.
They rigged up a handbrake for him, so he's steering with one hand, braking with the other, and never letting up on the throttle. Not the way that man was driving.
Yeah, that is huge gonads.
He forgot
And
the brake was
One win
available.
away from being the USAC all-time win leader.
Yep.
Also begin to sound like a broken record. I came, and not this close, but probably that close to going up to Kokomo and watching that race. But it was a 3.5-hour drive.
One day you were going to hear I pulled the trigger and went and watched the race.
Eventually, you have
You
to
know,
pull the
that-
trigger on a
that is
little
a-
3-hour
that is
drive there,
a-
Raz.
That is a fair call out. I will take that.
Hey,
and
you know
say-
what, Raz? I will give you this
That's a
because
record
you
worth having.
made the call and you pulled that trigger one time, and then Mother Nature said, "Fuck off, buddy."
The one time you make the call, fucking Mother
Yep.
Nature said, fuck you.
Yep.
Damn
Well, I'm
it.
going to defer to our IMCA experts here.
IMCA.
IMCA.
Tell us what to
That's what we said, IMCA.
tell us what to
So-
expect from the Nationals.
Here in a couple weeks, we got the Nationals coming up. I was hoping to be able to go. Unfortunately, I have work requirements that are going to keep me here, which is fine. Excuse me. There's always next year. It starts with Saturday and Sunday
IMCA.
prelude to the Nationals, and then kicking off Monday, September 1st, which, if you're not counting, that's in a week. Starts Super Nationals all the way through. So Monday, I'll kind of run through the rundown here a little bit. Brandon, you can chime in as needed. But Monday, they're going to run the late model full show. They're going to run sport mods and hobby stocks, and that's going to qualify the first 8 rows on the inside, and then they're going to run the hobby stock race of champions and the sport mod race of champions. That's on Monday.
They're going to run qualifying for Race of Champions, or they're going to run the full show?
Let me double check it.
'Cause I think Race of Champions.
Yeah, race of champions for hobby stocks and sport mods on Monday, and then Tuesday, I just had it pulled up here. Here we go. Mach 1 Sport Compacts complete show. Northern Sport Mods, outside 8 rows. Hobby stocks, middle and outside 8 rows. And then the hobby stock, I guess was the qualifiers. I didn't say qualifiers for Monday. Then Tuesday is because it says it again, hobby stock and sport mod race of champions. Wednesday, you're going to have Sunoco stock cars inside 8 rows. Modifieds inside 8 rows. Hobby stock, final 6 spots, and sport mods final 6 spots, and then the B&B stock car invitational, all-star invitational qualifying. Thursday, stock cars middle 8 rows, modifieds middle 8 rows, Rage Chassis modified race of champions, fast shafts modifieds all-star invitational, and the B&B stock car all-star invitational. Friday, stock car outside 8 rows, modified outside 8 rows, Sunoco stock car race of champions, Fast Shafts All-Star Invitational, Sunoco Stock Car Race of Champions, and then the Modified Race of Champions. And then that brings us to Saturday. So Saturday, you'll get the final 9 spots for Modifieds, the final 6 spots for Stock Cars, Race of Champions for Stock Cars and Modifieds, and then the features for the Hobby, Sport Mods, Stock Cars, and Modifieds. If any of our people watching here have never seen a Saturday at Boone for the All-Star, for the Super Nationals, they come 3 abreast to a green flag, and every single person is hauling ass into that corner as fast as they can go. And it is just
Not only are they 3 wide, they're 11 rows deep. So you have 33 cars on a quarter-mile dirt track.
Yep. Like I said, had the invite to go this year, had it all lined up to do it, but work stuff has me caught up here, which is fine. It looks like potentially next year, I might be going to Super Nationals with a car, so that'll be interesting to show up for my first Super Nationals and
I'll
go
go
race.
crew for you. I'll go crew. I've been there a bunch of times. I'll go.
Mine.
Nice.
Mine. So
While you were talking about
Did
that,
you find a driver?
no, it's me, buddy. Fuck you, buddy. It's me.
Fuck you, buddy. Fuck you, buddy.
Fuck you, buddy.
I wanted to
He
touch
never
on the...
said he was.
Whose
Never
car?
said he was racing. He's just going to Super Nats with his car.
To go race the son of a bitch.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Oh man, he went from freaking Minnesota down to the south. Just like 2 sentences.
He meant to tow
I
it
pick
all
it up
out.
from my wife a little bit.
When'd you just go to Wisconsin?
She's from Wisconsin. You gotta cut her break every once in a while.
Fuck you, buddy, don't
Yep.
you know?
Fuck you, bud.
Gotcha.
Don't you
You
know?
want some?
Yeah, yeah.
Want some
All right, Brandon's over there having a conniption, waiting on us to shut up. So go ahead, Brandon.
Not really. I was just making sure I was getting my
There's no
shit
worries,
together. But I
That's
just wanted
gonna
to
be
talk
a
about the
long haul.
numbers since he talked about what's happening every day.
The schedule.
Picture 90 races plus over a week's time. So most racetracks don't see 90 races for a whole season. They're going to run this in a week. 1,062 pre-registered cars.
As of right now.
Oh, well, yeah, 1,067. I can read. But with that, there are a ton of people from not just Iowa. They've got Canadian provinces, Australian states, 240 modifieds, 290 stock cars, 165 hobby stocks, 173 sport mods, 63 sport compacts, 84 mod lights. And as always, the late models only have 16 pre-registered, but they always show up with about 40 or 50. So if you've never seen it, IMCA TV, $167 or $169 for the entire week.
Yeah, I ran nationals in 1993 with a modified, and it's an amazing experience. It's a bucket list thing for sure.
So when you ran it, they still had leaf springs in the cars.
Actually, some did. So yeah,
I was being half smart-assed, but
Right, yeah.
Yeah, we ran these things called coil spring eliminators. If you really want to see something weird, Google those. Because you weren't allowed coilovers. You couldn't run a shock inside of a 5-inch coil because they would call that a coilover. So you had to run a coil spring
and the horse and buggy pulled it there.
eliminator.
Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah.
It's a goofy setup, but yeah, we had to make our own alcohol to run on site.
That's like a Mardi Gras
But
to dirt track for a week.
It's a once in a lifetime experience. I'll never forget it. I actually ran pretty well.
I'm excited for it, guys. Like I said, I want to go. Wished I could, but next year's going to be the year, hopefully.
When is that again? It's in September?
First week of
September
September
1st.
every year. First week.
Well, next year, next year,
Let me know,
Heather and I
Neil.
might be in the Midwest around that time.
Well, I'm just saying, Knoxville Nationals is kind of sort of a central point between the California guys and me. So maybe we could make a whole trip out of it.
I just
No,
know
this
that
is-
I go there every year almost. I'm
I don't
ready
think
to
the
go
Knoxville for the
back.
Nationals
Whatever
for my
you
birthday
guys
is
are,
some
just let
point.
me know.
Starting to shape up like Thomas might have a crew there.
Fuck, I already
Yeah,
told
right?
him. And I've got plenty of buddies that will be willing to help.
I'm in if
I quit.
I heard your
fucking-
boss. I heard your boss made you Employee of the Month, Neilden. Uh-oh.
Hey, how was that cool tool show that you went to recently?
I just have to talk to my boss
Okay.
about time off.
Going off the rails.
Yeah, no,
I was about to say the videos look bitchin'.
Yeah, three
Like
weeks
Seaver
running,
Silver
but
tools,
or 3 months
Yeah.
running, but I lost out a month before that.
Homer.
Icon.
Yeah, Val took it.
I guess it all depends on who
I'm
you ask.
exhausted from it still.
are you a Pittsburgh
145,000
tool
square
dealer
feet of tools is
Oh,
awesome.
damn.
Walking like 15 miles.
I
a
heard
day,
that Cornwell
not
guy's
awesome.
got some promotions coming up.
Yeah, and it's all
Um,
one brand, the best brand.
One of the comments on that American Racer Hoosier story was, well, how about engines? And the comment that we read was, how about we step away from $60,000 motors that
Did
are
you
based
hear
on 19 of technology, when he called it the import guys, which is not really the import guys, but there's a whole culture around LS racing, mostly in drag racing, where they're building LS motors equivalent to the best sprint car motor out there, but they're using mostly stock blocks, mildly upgraded lower ends, and electronic fuel injection. And I think there's a way you could make that fit into the sprint car and even the late model world really easily.
Well, didn't Ron Leslie?
Yeah.
Well, Ron Leslie at Verona was running an LS motor, fuel injected. He and
Dave
God.
Arcee.
yeah, Dave Arcee.
Well,
they were
especially with the
working on
lithium
a
batteries
deal.
now.
And
the weight,
be honest
put
with you,
starters on the
from a
things.
guy that knows
They don't weigh
carburetors and all that
nothing compared
stuff,
to what they used to.
we
You're not putting a 20-pound
any
direct
series
drive
that
starter on
requires you to
anymore.
run a carburetor, you are going backwards. You need to move forward. You need to get into the fuel injected world, and it's gonna be less expensive.
Well, particularly in an open class where there's not as many restrictions like sprint cars and like dirt late models, I think EFI becomes really simple, because then you're not trying to keep everybody spec or where they're all running the same ECU with the same tune. If it's an open class, it's an open class. Run whatever ECU and whatever tune you will get it done. And the technology is already there. There's the Haltech systems, there's the Fuel Tech systems, there's the Holley Dominator and the Holley Terminator system, which could easily be adapted to a sprint car or dirt late model application. Alcohol is no problem. They're already running alcohol. They're already running massive injectors that'll flow a ton of alcohol. And honestly, alcohol and EFI injected 1,000 horsepower LS is no big deal. There's literally hundreds of them. Yeah, that's a nothing burger motor. They're pretty easily naturally aspirated, getting 1,500, 1,800 horsepower out of those motors. So I personally would like to see a 1,800 horsepower sprint car. I think that'd be a blast.
So why are they not moving forward? Why are they
That's
not
a
stepping
livable
into
motor.
the technology then?
Part of it's probably fear. Fear of an electronics failure. Killing your race is one thing. Some of it is the whole stick in the mud. Well, we're doing it the way. I think some of it is also your traditional engine builders. Who are getting $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a motor. They're going to fight that tooth and nail. Remember when the Yamaha turnkey dirt track racer came on and all the your dwarf car and lightning sprint car guys went, "Oh no, you can't do that." They missed the boat on that one.
If you guys remember, we were perched to buy one. As soon as they came, we were perched to buy one.
Yeah, you literally kicked a manufacturer out of your sport to protect your old ass technology. I think that there's some of that going on in sprint car and dirt late model. Sprint car, they limit to.
I still think that would have been amazing.
Or 360 depending on your class, but the upper end is 410. Dirt late models, there's no cubic inch restriction in your major series. There are guys running 430s, 440s, 460s. So when you have no restriction engine like that, an $80,000 late model motor is nothing. But you could take this EFI technology and take the existing tech that's already there with your billet intake manifolds and your aftermarket ECUs and your aftermarket injectors, and you can build a motor that would outperform those motors horsepower and torque wise for I mean, Neil, with the knowledge we have, we could build a motor for $25,000 easy, and it would be a monster. The only question is, can it live in a because like I said, most of what's being done right now is drag racing. You're running it for 6 seconds at a time versus running 50 laps on and off the throttle.
I hate to interrupt you, but the technology is already there, because in Score off-road Baja 1000, they're running fuel injected motors. Well, the 1000 you're not running the Baja 1000, you're not running a big motor. You're running about 700, 800 horsepower. They're running 1000 horsepower. Okay, so they're running 1000 horsepower fuel injected motors. So they're running 1000 horsepower motors for 1,000 miles in the desert, naturally aspirated.
So if you use that as a number, and it's your top sprint car guys are getting 1,000 horsepower out of it.
They are now.
Mm-hmm.
They're running.
Oh yeah. Horsepower numbers in dirt late model, but it has
the Hertz is doing a 1200 for
at least
1200 horsepower for the 400.
Using 1,000 horsepower as a number,
NA.
You could restrict people to iron blocks
in the dirt,
still have 1,000 horsepower motor easily.
But the longevity is there.
Well, that's the thing. You're going to go longer between rebuilds. Your current sprint car motor goes 5 races and needs a $5,000 or $6,000 rebuild. I'm sure dirt late models are right in that same realm. Your valve train components are going to be cheaper. Your fuel injection components are going to be cheaper in the long run, because you're not having the high pressure direct drive pumps that they're using for direct fuel injection. The only potential problem I see is safety. You're going to have a way where that electric fuel pump gets shut off like that in a crash, because that's the advantage. There's things called inertia switches or oil pressure switches for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they could even program it into the ECM for if.
That's
true,
because NASCAR's doing it.
Well, some of your drag racer guys.
That's easy,
and
they've been around for a minute.
There you go. I mean, if you remember in our dwarf car, we had
you don't even have to do that. You can run a mechanical pump.
We had an oil pressure cutoff switch.
You could run a mechanical fuel pump on it if you
our
wanted. Even
oil
with fuel
pressure dropped below a certain number, it shut the fuel pressure.
Yeah.
Shut the fuel pump off.
Most of your big motor drag guys are running a direct drive Waterman still.
The LS late model class.
So I mean, you don't have to reinvent the whole wheel.
Those motors, you had to run the stock plastic intake. It had to be an iron block. They were doing hand-out ECU.
Mm-hmm.
It's doable. Just somebody's got to do it.
I think what it's going to take is somebody really bold, meaning someone who's going to show up with one, even though he knows that motor's not legal, race it and go ahead and get DQ'd.
Because he knows the potential you can have.
That this motor will run with you, and I know at the end I'm going to be DQ'd because my motor's not going to be. It's not going to meet the rules. And some of your sanctioning bodies are going to be sticks in the mud and just not even let them on the track, which I think is horseshit.
I think we should get in touch with Tony Stewart, tell Tony Stewart, put one in one of your cars and go out there and run it.
I don't think he would, to be honest with you. I think he's one of those traditionalists.
I'd like to find out.
You got his
Tony,
number?
if you watch our show, call us. Let's conversate.
Fuck.
There's the meme. There's the meme.
Well,
We call out
well,
Tony Stewart.
instead of telling Tony to put one in his cars, why doesn't Tony owns Eldora? Why not put on an exhibition? 10,000 to win LS Fest.
Yeah,
Who's coming up with the 10
That's an
grand?
idea.
somebody.
It's Tony fucking Stewart, bud.
Okay, wait.
That don't mean
LS
he's coming
guys?
up with
No,
10 fucking
Go to
grand,
General
bud.
Motors.
No,
Go to
here's the
General
thing.
Motors.
I'll tell you exactly who will come up with 10 grand. It's a little company out of Texas called Texas Speed. They would sponsor that class in a heartbeat.
Well, that's
Because they're known for building LS motors.
Yeah. Go to Chevy.
Right.
It's GM, LS, GM. Go to Chevy and say, hey, pony up some bucks. We want to put together a class.
Aren't the Craftsman trucks running LS based motors now?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Didn't
it.
ARCA do it? Didn't
Mm-hmm.
wasn't ARCA running LS motors for a while?
That's
They still are, yeah.
They
They all run
basically
the same.
running the same motor.
So the technology is there. It's just these stick in the ass, freaking rich ass dumbasses need to pull a stick out of their ass and say, let's
And it's
do
all
it.
the same motor no matter what brand. So like Dodge
Well,
coming in with 5
let's
trucks,
say you had-
they're not developing a
There
motor.
was.
They're just developing,
was.
a body
Let's say
package.
you had a World Outlaws sprint car team, and
Mhm,
okay,
still
you're
are.
gonna run the full season. That means you're gonna have to have 3 motors. You're gonna have to have your primary and your backup, and whatever one is at the shop getting rebuilt. So you're gonna rotate those 3 motors. That's a minimum. So that's 180 grand minimum in purchase. They run World Outlaws runs what 80 dates. I don't know what they're
Something like that.
Okay, so let's use that number. Let's call it 80 dates. So every 5 to 10 races on the high side, let's call it 10. That means 8 engine rebuilds at $5 grand a piece. So that's another 40 grand. So
220 grand.
You're a $250,000 into your engines for the year.
And that's if you don't blow one.
Something like that.
That's if you don't scatter one. That's just routine rebuilds and run them. And you're gonna scatter one. They garf. That's what they do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you wouldn't garf an LS motor. That's going to happen too. There's going to be a learning curve to it. What works on a drag strip is not necessarily going to work on a dirt track, but I think you could make it work if you're willing to put in the investment.
World Outlaws has 90 nights this year.
So
9
What-
rebuilds.
So yeah.
call it $300,000 in motors, and that's at a minimum. That's on the low side. They're probably spending half a million in engines.
So realistically speaking, and this is, I did the quick math in my head and I pulled this number clearly out of my ass. There's another one for you, John. You could cut your motor expense in half.
Yeah, that's a $250,000 if you cut those expenses in.
You could buy more tires.
And you're staying with a technology that's much more recent. Like I said, the aftermarket's already there to support it. You just have to optimize those parts for what you do. But that said, I know there's some who are abdicating to run the LS with a mechanical fuel
But it's
injection.
got to have a
I think
carburetor.
it's just a backwards ass way to do it. The technology is there for EFI, and one of the reasons why you get more longevity.
That ain't natural.
because you don't have to worry about running that sucker lean because you got an oxygen sensor in the header, which is going to adjust your fuel mixture on the fly. Okay, so what?
Huh, that's what my ancestors did.
It's not like there are.
I think Thomas is over there thinking about a microwave.
Nope.
So 2 Catholic priests are driving.
Huh, they're going to be cheating from the pits and retuning the motor with traction control.
Pull the string, bud.
Huh, I don't like it.
What else is it?
It does.
Yeah.
Cheaper.
I mean, I think
Like
we're all in
Raz
agreement
said,
on this, that the
you could run
LS
a
needs
cast
to come
iron
to dirt
block.
track, period. But we need to figure out the teething issues that are going to happen. It needs to come. I mean, the parts are much more readily available.
Yeah,
Than
Thomas, what'd
old
your
small
602
block stuff.
cost?
10 grand.
Brand
Arguably
new,
cheaper
they'll
depending on what
cost
you're at.
anywhere from 8 to 12,
a
depending
billet
on
LS block is
how dressed you
still
get them and
wicked
who you get them
expensive.
from.
What are you dressing them in? Tutus?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Depends
Yeah.
on if you
Even
go.
with the 602
Depends
stuff
on if you go
that was supposed to be
timing
economical, it's not
chain
economical anymore.
to crank, or if you go full
Yeah, I mean,
full accessories on the front to flywheel. You go oil pan to fucking carburetor. Depends on how you get it, but
And how much does a Big Willie carburetor cost? $1,500.
$2,000. $2,000.
yeah.
thongs.
How much does it
1,500
cost to
is,
claim one?
I don't
you
think you
claim
can claim
Oh.
you can't claim a
You
About
can't claim
two.
a crate
crate
motor
motor.
carburetor, but you can claim an open motor carburetor.
Yeah.
No, you can claim a crate motor carburetor. It's a 1-for-1 swap, about $50.
Well, fucking hey, send it, bud.
Yeah.
When yours is about
Hey.
dead, send her $50.
Here's my 44. Here's
$50.
my 4412 and $50. Give me your $2,000 carburetor.
Yeah, fucking hey.
Oh, I
send
mean,
it.
so 4-barrel can only claim a 4-barrel, and a 2-barrel can only claim a 2-barrel. So that kind of stops that a little bit. But yeah, here's my $800 fucking Holly for your $2,000 competition carb. Let's go, bud.
Fucking send her, bud.
Yeah, and then the next week, the guy that claimed your carburetor is doing about $10,000 worth of work to his car because he got stuffed in the wall.
Sounds like a suspension.
Cheaper than a carburetor, and definitely cheaper than a barrel valve mechanical fuel injection setup.
Well, we have solved
So,
another of the
according
racing
to
world's
Holly.com,
problems.
Holly,
We do it. They just need to listen to us.
Just start listening.
for
Tony
4.8
Stewart is out
5.36
there.
liter. Everything
Yeah,
you need
Tony?
minus
I was
fuel
gonna say
pump
who's
is
calling
1,300.
Tony? Who's gonna email Tony? And
Tony,
Brad
my
seems to
my,
have everybody's phone numbers.
my number is Jackson5312.
Way cheaper.
If Raz's favorite dirt track podcast reporter
do it
guy
every
can get
week?
Tony Stewart on, I think we might have a shot.
no, okay.
Raz seems to know everybody. Hell, I'm surprised he don't know the guy's phone number.
He does. He's just holding
I was
out
just
on us.
thinking if he shows.
I
up
mean,
at
I'll
Chili
try to
Dogs, you know,
email him.
pull him to the side and have this same conversation with him. 'Cause
Get
I
him
think
on our
it's-
show.
Stewart at-
I think it's worth having for sure.
yeah.
Somebody who's
Um,
got a little more insight that can give us a better answer than just that's the way it's always been.
Well, he might be able to actually, like you said, might be able to say, look, yeah, it's a great idea, but this is the actual reason why it doesn't happen. And it could be a legit reason.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Something other than the answer of, well, that's just how we've always done it.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that. We've
Yep,
done it
me
this
too.
way for 30 years. Okay, well,
Yep.
obviously it's not working. So
There's
But
not,
to work back in World War II,
there's not a passenger car made today with a carburetor on it. Not one.
Nope.
Yeah.
yeah, I think the last ones were what, 80? The last ones that came out of the factories were back in what, 87?
Could
Try getting stock
88?
body parts for these old cars.
Huh? What's that, Hilden?
Try getting stock body parts for these old cars.
Right?
All
That's
right,
why
well,
we keep
hasn't been
running
for-
over my.
30 years.
now that
Yeah,
we've
that's why
now
we
that we've
keep-
solved all the racing world's problems, I think we probably ought to call it a night.
All right.
Right.
Maybe to the early
Thomas?
90s and something.
Tell us about that card you have on display on your microphone.
all right. So I know that we have a couple hundred viewers now. I'll set it.
Maybe
I
very
said
early
it. Damn
90s.
it! You guys can eat it. We have a couple hundred viewers now.
For this week.
Without going into too much detail, we have.
There'll be more
This is
next
the
week.
reason
Don't
it's
worry. It's
I'm
racing.
being kept home and not going to Boone. We do what's called Chief Season. This time of year, every year, we select a new group of people
his
to become
microwave?
chiefs in the United States Navy. And it's a 6-week initiation process that they go through. And part of that is raising money and then having them go out, complete tasks and whatnot, and getting to meet, the chief's mess and all that kind of stuff. So we auction off the anchors that they're going to be pinned with on their pinning day. Like I said, to raise that money to put towards their season. And I have a bosun mate, Mitroff is her name. She is married to another girl, and I'm trying to make sure I get this right. I think her wife's dad is the owner of Ball Auto Group. And Ball Auto Group sponsors Barona, and the IMCA Modifieds at Barona. So what I knew when I learned that, I knew instantly that I would be bidding on her anchor. So I've got her starboard anchor. For those of you that don't speak pirate, starboard is right. Yeah.
Port and starboard, goddamn.
Yeah. Port is left. And of course, TV's probably backwards. So you're going to think I'm fucked up. But look, that's an L. That's not. Okay. Starboard side. Starboard anchor. So good news is if somehow this video gets back to her and she sees that
Arr.
I was doing a podcast with it in my hand, I promise you by the time she comes and find me, it will no longer be with me. But that's a shout out to her, Ball Auto Group, and all those folks that help us do what we do. And I'm so glad I could be a part of this year and be doing what I'm doing.
Does she know she's getting chief?
Yes, she does. She found out in middle of August that she was selected for chief, and their pending date is September 16th.
Cool. That's very cool.
And she's a bosun mate, so shout out to bosun mates. There we go. Hell yeah,
Yep.
greatest rate in the Navy.
Yep. You bunch of proud, obnoxious sons of bitches.
Hey, goddamn it. Somebody's
Sons
got to
of
get shit done.
That's I'm talking about you too, Steve. I know you watch this shit, you big bastard.
Yes.
And next week,
he
Thomas
is quite big, so we're fucking.
I'm
Oh,
predicting
yeah.
that next week
Big
Thomas is
bastard.
going to show up with 2 black eyes.
Thomas
Right.
might
So-
fucking show up to the racetrack with no tires on his car because Big
Wait,
Steve said,
that's-
fuck you.
Well,
That's
There's
he
always
ain't
the
gonna be
E5
here
Mafia.
this weekend. He's on leave. He won't be
Oh,
at the
fuck, I
races till our
forgot.
next
He's on
race.
vacation.
Oh, okay.
So I'm safe for this
You
weekend.
See, it's a good
But what-
segue into Big Steve Elder just recently posted that he's at what 16 years serving in the
Yep.
Navy now.
Yep.
He posted a picture of him as a younger sailor, and his face is all fucked up. What the hell happened?
That's a story for him to tell.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
is that
microwave
for
blew up.
offline when we're not recording.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
No. That's
Philippines, freaking.
I mean, could have, you know, he's a big guy. He likes to get rowdy. It could be a Liberty deal. It could be something as simple
Okay.
as he going around lines and he slipped and fucking
It could be.
ran his face
No.
into
He
a
enjoyed
bar.
Liberty.
You know, microwave got too hot. You never
He
know.
was standing next to Thomas while Thomas was in front of the microwave and Thomas missed the stroke.
Could be a sex toy accident from Subic Bay. It can happen.
Could be. Could be.
Maybe there
but
were
with
two
that
priests
being
driving
said-
down the highway. You never know.
Oh, damn.
Well, with that being
God.
said, and you
We are
can-
going off the rails.
Yeah,
folks.
John, hit the socials. John, hit
Hold
the
on.
socials.
Hold on.
Wait, no.
You
Thomas has
can
got more.
snip this. You can snip this and make it a
Like
short
you?
this week because we race on Saturday. Hey, I don't have a crew chief this weekend. If you're available and you want to come out to Verona Speedway, you get your
Chief
pit
Priest
pass.
and
You
the
come on
father.
up. I could use some help.
Do they do tricks?
Jesus Christ.
Oh, right.
Is the plane crashing again?
That's what
or
she said.
Wow.
John, get
We'll
us out of
just
this
throw him
mess.
in the scoring stand.
John, for help, save us.
Before I have to put some
Dirty
fires
Who
out.
wants to watch my kids?
Yeah, Dirty Sliders on Facebook, Dirty.Sliders on Instagram,
See?
at Dirty
Silence.
Sliders on X, and Patreon.com Dirty Sliders podcast. Join us, support us. We are 9 short of getting 200 subscribers. So get us those 9 subscribers this week, and I don't know, maybe we'll try and give away another shirt. Neil and I tried to do it the other week, and he never got back to us. So we got a free shirt giveaway. So
Like,
They're
comment,
quality.
subscribe, ring the bell.
like, comment, subscribe. Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, all.
All
See
right.
Good night,
ya.
y'all.
See you guys.
Lady.